Thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. Today we take a look at the Bennington Triangle. Vermont's Bennington Triangle, which includes a large portion of the Green Mountain National Forest and the Glastonbury Mountains, has been the epicenter of unusual activities and sightings, as well as quite a number of unusual disappearances for centuries. The mysterious occurrences have always been a fundamental part of the region's culture and folklore. However, the area was not called the Bennington Triangle until 1992, when paranormal enthusiast and author Joseph Citro compared the area to Massachusetts's Bridgewater Triangle. According to reports, dozens of people have mysteriously vanished from the region, with the majority of the disappearances occurring on or nearby Glastonbury Mountain. This region is also rumored to be the home of a Bigfoot-like creature, who is known as the Bennington Monster. Today we're going to take a look at one of the most famous of these disappearances, the mystery of James Edward Tedford. The man vanished into thin air. James E. Tedford, often referred to as Tetford, was born around 1884 in Vermont. Not much is known about his early life, but by 1940 he was resident in Fletchertown, Franklin, Vermont, with his younger wife, Pearl. She was aged 28 at the time, and he was aged 56. Things started to get strange following Tedford's return to Vermont at the end of his second spell of military service at the end of World War II. He returned to find his wife, Pearl, had vanished. No trace of her could be found. The property they rented in Fletchertown had been left abandoned. Tedford's family claimed no knowledge of the whereabouts of his missing wife. They said they had last seen her when she was heading to the Amico store in Franklin, but they never saw her again. She had vanished without a trace. On December 1st, 1949, Tedford's remaining family reported him missing. Police investigations and reports show that he boarded a bus in St. Albans a few days earlier, but he had not arrived at his destination. Tedford had vanished mysteriously during the last part of the trip. Tedford was on his way home to the retirement home in Bennington from a trip to see family in St. Albans, Vermont. The scheduled bus trip should have taken the best part of 8 hours, but heavy snow caused a long delay. The route also passed through the Green Mountain National Forest, an area renowned for disappearances and strange events during the 1940s. Tedford was seen sitting on the bus by 14 other passengers. They all testified to seeing him there, sleeping, in his seat. But when the bus reached its final destination, Tedford was gone, and the driver and other witnesses all testified that they had not seen the old man leave the bus. Tedford was seen getting on the bus in St. Albans by multiple witnesses, and was still seen on the bus after the last stop before arriving in Bennington. So somewhere between the last stop in Bennington, Tedford vanished. Strangely, all his belongings were still on the luggage rack, and the local bus timetable lay open on his empty seat. Tedford has never returned or been found.
Evil one, deliver me.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death,
At the hour of my death,
call me and bid me to come to thee.
call me and bid me to come to thee.
Give me the compass. If you don't, we'll take her eyes. We'll take your family's eyes. We'll make this whole town blind.
From the evil one, deliver me.
At the hour of my death.
At the hour of my death.
Probably should have come here first.
Come to thee.
Call me and bid me.
As stated earlier, the Bennington Triangle has been connected to a number of mysterious disappearances. From 1945 to 1950, 6 people disappeared, one after the other. The first was Carl Herrick in November 1943. This incident is often overlooked in discussions about the Bennington disappearances because a body was found and a definitive cause of death was apparently given. Carl was hunting with his cousin Henry, 16 kilometers northeast of Glastonbury Mountain, which lies at the center of the triangle. The pair got separated and Henry contacted authorities to look for him. After a few days, searchers found Herrick's body. His gun was nearby with no bullets discharged. The autopsy determined that the cause of death was squeezing. His ribs had punctured his lung. The townsfolk didn't show any particular concern afterwards, though. 2 years later, an experienced hiker and hunter named Middle Rivers went missing on November 12, 1945. The 74-year-old was guiding a group of 4 hunters on a mountain trek. He was very familiar with the trail, as he'd walked it multiple times. However, after going ahead of the group at a spot called Hell Hollow Brook, near the long trail in Vermont Route 9, he was gone. Firemen, local volunteers, and eventually the U.S. Army searched for Rivers for over a month. The only clue they found was one rifle cartridge. No body was ever found, and the case remains unsolved. A year later, in 1946, an 18-year-old student at Bennington College named Paula Jean Weldon told her roommates that she was going on the long trail for a hike. A local man named Louis Knapp gave her a ride and dropped her off a few kilometers from the trail. On arriving, she spoke with some hikers before she ventured off on her own. She was last seen on December 1st, wearing a red coat. A 4-week search, led by her father and the police, began. However, all leads came back as dead ends. With no hope in sight, Paula's father believed that she might have had a secret boyfriend with whom she either ran away with or who killed her. Paula's father left Bennington, never to return. Her case is unsolved as well. On October 12, 1950, 8-year-old Paul Jepson was with his mother while she worked on their family farm. She left her son in her pickup truck while she fed the farm's pigs for an hour. When she returned, he was gone. He was also last seen wearing a red coat. An immediate search of the farm and surrounding area was conducted. A police bloodhound followed the scent to a crossroads where it eventually faded. The trail was in the general direction of Glastonbury Mountain, which Jepson was obsessively talking about for several days before his disappearance. Police theorized that a passing motorist could have whisked Paul away as he tried to reach the mountain. However, the case went cold, and there were no more developments. More than 2 weeks after Paul Jepson's vanishing, a 53-year-old Frida Langer, an avid hiker, met a similar fate. She and her cousin Herbert Elsner were hiking 17 kilometers from Glastonbury Mountain at the Somerset Reservoir. After getting wet from falling into a creek, she went back to the campsite to change. Herbert stayed behind to wait for her on the trail. When Frida did not return, Herbert reported her missing. For the next 2 weeks, 400 people scoured the area extensively. 6 months later, her body was found 5.5 kilometers from the campsite. Coroners could not determine the cause of death because of the corpse's accelerated decomposition. The folklore around the Bennington Triangle stems from UFOs, curses, Bigfoot, and more. The Abenaki tribe believed that the Glastonbury Mountain was cursed, as it housed their dead at its base. However, there are several connections we can draw from these incidents. 2 victims, Paula and Paul, strangely with the same name, were also both wearing the color red. All 5 victims disappeared in mid-afternoon around 3 or 4 p.m., not far from each other, and during the last 3 months of the year. Some people think that maybe it's a serial killer. However, the variety in sex and age does not fit the usual modus operandi of a serial killer or their behavior. There is no set pattern. It seems more to do with geographical location. Certainly, the Bennington Triangle seems to be a intriguing mystery. How did all these people go missing? Did something take them? Why do 2 of them have the same name and were wearing red coats? Could the cause of their disappearances be paranormal? Let me know what you think in the comments. And thank you for watching Murder, Monsters, and Mysteries. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe, as we'll be uploading more regularly.